You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer and author of the best-selling book, Stay the Course, Dom Brightman. And you're going to be getting some goodies today from the guest that's up next. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, it's the Going North podcast. And we're going way up north to the mighty, mighty country of Canada, folks, because thanks to my good buddy, Mr. Mickey Mickelson, that's right, Mr. Eminem himself, we got another super special, awesome human for you today because, my goodness, my man has put pen to paper and put some of his wonderful wisdom into this wonderful book to help you become, that's right, alpha, y'all, alpha. With your wonderful dogs, your wonderful canines, because today's guest in particular, my man's been working with animals for over 30 years. He's a corporate mindfulness coach as well as a mindfulness teacher and a meditation instructor. So let's give it up for the one, the only, JS himself, the joyful and the stupendous Jesse Sternberg. How you doing today, Jesse?
Tom, quite an introduction. Thank you. I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, man, definitely. That's usually the best part of the show because, hey, got to honor folks who do good work out in the world and working with dogs over 30 years, 3 decades. It's like you popped out the womb and, hey, I guess I love dogs now.
Close. Yeah, something like that. Well, because, we all have a purpose. We all have a purpose. We don't really know what it is. And one day, if we're lucky, we kind of figure out, oh, I'm good at this. I love doing that. I'm gonna make that my work. And then a passion becomes a skill, and over time, you put your 10,000 hours in, and you have a one-of-a-kind skill that only you could have honed. And it's in alignment with what you're passionate about and how you bring service to the planet and those around you. For me, it was dogs, I guess. I was born into a house with lots of animals, and right from the get-go, right from the womb, I landed in the right spot.
Yeah, that's right. That's right indeed. The X marks the spot. Indeed, my goodness, my goodness. So I'm guessing that's where your love of animals, especially dogs, come from being a house full of animals, or what? Like, how was that process of really, I guess, in a way, finding your love of animals and making it really your passion?
Well, I was sort of just playing along with you there. I mean, I was born into a home that had 2 dogs, 2 cats. In the summer times, I was fortunate. I rode horses, worked with horses. This is from a young age, probably about 10. And then I kind of got away from it. And in my early 20s, got my own first dog. I was a man, I got my own dog, and something woke up inside me, and I just loved it. And not too long after that, I just went for it, and I built a dog daycare, dog grooming center, dog training center in Toronto. I retrofitted an old movie store. Movie stores were going out of business back then. So there was a really cool piece of real estate that I rented, and it came together. As soon as I had the idea to do this, because I had my own big puppy, and I lived in a downtown city. And people are crazy about their dogs, Dom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people are crazy about their dogs. And so I was one of those guys. And I was crazy about my dog. I mean, I used to send her to dog daycare and pay something like $45, $50 for the day. And I'd be at work, at my big corporate job. I'd have my 2 monitors going. And on one of the monitors underneath the browser, I had Alt-Tab ready to just watch my dog on webcam. That's what I was paying for. Okay. And so that business went for sale, and the owner reached out to her clients, and I don't know why I entertained it, because I was going in a different direction. I had an MBA. I was working in finance and venture capital. Things were great, blah, 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 blah. I think I was like 24 years old. And I just went through the process of just like looking at her numbers and thinking I was going to buy it. Actually made an offer for it, fell through, didn't come through. 6 months later, things happen for a reason. You know what I mean? 6 months later, I showed up for work. We had sold the business. I didn't know that, to a public company. I didn't know that. That's how they did things. And I was riding the subway home, got off, took the streetcar, got off really close. Now I'm a quarter mile from my home, and I'm looking at this old movie store, and I just froze in my tracks, and my spine started to tingle, and I started getting this crazy idea. Like, that's what I was going to use my severance for. Start a dog daycare. At the time, I didn't even want to be a dog trainer. I just wanted to have a business and hang out with my dog and look after people's dogs. There's a zoning bylaw, though, in Toronto. Dog daycares didn't exist then. It just wasn't a thing. So I put dog training on the window. That's a legit reason for business licensing, a municipality or whatever. So I got around it. And you know when you know something, but it just takes a long, long, long time for you to really realize that you knew it all along? I was supposed to be the dog trainer. I mean, 6.5 days a week, I was looking after, and I'm talking 11.5 hours a day. I was looking after probably 40 to 50 different dogs a day. Sometimes 25, sometimes 12, but sometimes a ton, and not the same dog. So it's not like any training I did yesterday was going to help me tomorrow. And let me tell you, I was the guy who answered the phone and greeted the customers and kept the dogs quiet and just did all that stuff. I was a small business owner. I cared. I cared when customers came in. I didn't like the dogs barking. Anyone who has a dog knows that if the Amazon guy comes, their dog goes bananas. Could you imagine like a room full of them going crazy every time a customer came in? So that was driving me crazy. And eventually I started doing these experiments with the dogs, with behavior wise. And I had a hot dog that I had on a plate, and I had no dog touching it for like a half an hour. And like this pack of like 36 dogs was just laying down in a semicircle, drooling, staring at the hot dog, looking at me. And honestly, people would come into the store and they'd be like, why is it so quiet? What's wrong? Eventually, I figured out how to vacuum and mop. And like, I was like Dr. Dolittle for a while. I could just do all these things, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought I was like, in those moments of genius, I was learning how to communicate like a dog, like the top dog to the dogs. So that became the idea for the book. And how could we, I've worked with an amazing book coach. His name's Johnny Angel. I didn't even know I wanted to write a book until I met this guy, Johnny Angel, at a yoga resort, got the same spine tingle as when I started to open up the dog daycare. And I'm a kind of guy that listens to his intuition. I know that's the intuition saying, yeah, write a book, dude. So I'm not really a writer, but I'm also not really one of those guys that thinks he can't do stuff if he just works at it with patience, with the right attitude. Anybody can do anything. Because I'm not even like an official dog trainer either. Yet I've got the numbers already in just a few months in Canada. At least I've got the number 6 most most popular dog training book, and it's also a spirituality book. It's the number 92 book in spirituality. Because you got to get a little bit soulful if you're going to talk to a dog using their own language. I mean, just out of the gate, what does that even mean? People say you can't fake a dog out. They just know. And so I say who you are when you're with your dog is who you are with everybody. That's your unconscious side. And in my book, I've got it's a quick, easy read because most of the chapters are just case studies of regular people with regular dogs having regular behavioral situations. barks at the door, lunges at the leash, can't walk this dog, eats the food off the counter, blah, blah, blah. Same problems. One on puppies, one on old dogs. But in each chapter, we can clearly see how the humans got some emotional baggage. The dog's behavior reflects the same kind of nuances. See, underneath behaviors are strong feelings. Almost all the time with dogs, it's way too much excitement or it's a little bit of fear. People are the same way. You get pocket aces at the poker table and you're a rookie, everyone knows you've got aces. Why? You can't hide your face. Dogs are the same way. When dogs are excited, they jump, they whine, they bark, they're annoying. My gift is that I can actually feel what the dog is feeling when it's doing those things. And I realized that it's not about trying to fix the behaviors. It's more just about a calm, authoritative new direction. We're not doing that right now, guys. We're going in a new direction. Simple as that. But that's the alpha thing, from the beginning. If you actually have the alpha thing, you can say something like that and they fall in line, and not just dogs, people. But alpha is a trigger word for most people, for many people, because we think that alpha is something you can claim, and it's totally the opposite. And it's peaceful alpha, by the way, in the book, How to Be the Peaceful Alpha. Your dog needs and respects, that's the subtitle. When you behave a certain way, what does an expert do when he has pocket aces? Well, he's got emotional discipline. He's going to leverage that moment. He's going to maximize it. So he's using wisdom, skill, emotional intelligence when he's feeling that strong feeling. Just to paint that picture, if you're not a poker player, that strong feeling is like how you feel when you're going up the roller coaster, right at the top. You know that one? You're like approaching the top of the roller coaster, and it's like tick, 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 and you're freaking out. It's exciting. Well, yeah. If you're the peaceful alpha, you know exactly how that feels in your bones, and you're able to just hold that space. Same thing when it's insane fear, very strong contrast, something very, very intense in the body. And because when a dog is scared, what really calms them, what they're doing, if they're lunging, barking, chewing, biting, not chewing, biting, aggressive. The motion of fear makes behavior come off as aggressive. That's how they act it out. It's a strategy. I'm feeling scared right now, so I'm gonna go on the offense, hopefully control the environment. I don't want you petting me, so you stay back. What's the anecdote there? What's the true alpha move? Well, to answer that, I'm going to say, what's the gentleman's move? What's the chivalrous move? You bring calm reassurance. Everything's all right. Everything's all right. So the idea with dogs is that you earn the title peaceful alpha. Your dog gives it to you, and you know you've got it. Or you could put a hot dog on the floor and they don't touch it, kind of thing. So each chapter has some really cool solutions to some old school problems. And I feel like I've just been talking a whole ton here. How we doing over there?
Don't worry. It's all part of the podcast game, at least here anyway. I believe in listening to the experts.
Yeah. So, people, if you're still interested and you're into this, go check out my website, peacefulalpha.com, and you can see where you can get the book, pretty much any major retailer, online retailer. And you can take a course of mine or work with me in some fashion on how to become your dog's own whisperer.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. My man must have been holding that in all day. It's like, man, it's so dark cold outside. About to drop this nuke on these listeners today, baby. Got this hot five for y'all indeed. So, my goodness, man. So, that's amazing. So, being able to really have all of those wonderful dogs and puppies like have a semicircle, mouth watering around a hot dog like it's a yoga class. So where did the meditation piece come in with all of this?
Yeah, okay, cool. So meditation is a state that arrives after you can basically do a long sit stay. If you're a dog trainer and you tell your dog sit, stay, they're basically not moving and they're focusing on something. The definition of meditate, what our first instruction when we do meditation is after we find our still body is to focus on something that you can sense, something you can see, something you could hear, something you can feel, like your breath. The point is you just focus on one thing. What's crazy is that when I take a juicy hot dog and I just use the dog body language, which is just facial gestures, actions, postures, it's not fancy. In relation to something they want, there's an asset claiming posture, okay? It basically looks like you're being a bodyguard. The message is very clear. Well, what you're doing is you're creating, you're putting something that the dogs just are drooling over. But they have a code, an ethic, and that is if you're really the boss, it's yours, I won't take it. So what ends up happening is they can't stop focusing on it. They couldn't stop focusing on it if they tried, Dom. It's there, it's natural. So what ends up happening is you see them watch it, watching it. And then they go from they're pacing around, watching it, but their body gets so slow, they hypnotize themselves. They stand still, then they sit, then they lay down, then they put their chin down, then their eyelids become semi-closed. And like in moments, they're behaving like a Zen master would. So to detect that and watch that and see that happening, after you try this experiment, you'll witness how much calmer and how calm they get. You witness what a masterful meditator they are. And so in each chapter, by the way, and to tune into the dog's body language system, you have to be peaceful and quiet-minded. You know, if you're really busy-minded, you're not going to see your dog doing these things. So meditation is a part of the way of the peaceful alpha. It's nothing crazy, but just knowing how to do it and practicing it. You practice with your dog commands like sit and stay. They develop obedience, mental obedience. Meditation's the same thing. You're doing a sit and stay. And if you're wise, you're doing it first thing in the morning when it's easy to keep your mind quiet, like right out of bed, right after your bathroom. And you only need 5 to 8 minutes. And you don't need to be fancy about it. You can just listen to the air conditioner and just do a sit, stay, don't move. You're not trying to get fancy with the mind. You're trying to learn how the mind works. The mind's going to do all kinds of weird shit. It's going to feel like you're not doing it right. Doing it right is being disciplined to sit, stay. Eventually, you start to learn your mind. You start to learn how all the weird you start to learn the texture of all these flavors of human feelings that we've got. And you start to get comfortable with them, which is what I was talking about, you know, how you relate to excitement, how you relate to fear. A poker player is basically doing a very long sit stay. The poker players are master meditators. Yeah, we have a false belief about what meditation is. And so we block ourselves from doing it. But if you go fly fishing or if you knit, you're a master meditator too. You're getting in the flow state, doing something simple. That's the goal of meditation, flow state life. So the idea behind the book is, how can I hook humanity into elevating consciousness? That's what's happening right now. Anyway, across the board. And I can really resonate with a dog owner because of my past. And it's a fusion of what my passions are: meditation, spirituality, dog ownership. And it all came together as Enlightened Dog Training, how to be the peaceful alpha your dog needs and respects. Boom. That's the meditation answer.
He's dropping the bombs, baby. That's right, the meditation bombs, indeed. Or should I say, meditation bubbles. He drops them and then they just pop, and it's like, ha, everybody's doing the warrior pose. Gotta love it. That's right. Oh my goodness, my goodness. I love what you said there about, hey, if you're doing the whole fly fishing or even knitting, because that's the true thing. It's like it's concentrating, like you're in a particular state of mind to really be in the flow of doing
Yeah.
something you like and enjoy.
Bang on. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Yeah, I think you get that. I think everybody's kind of got their thing, and that's the medicine for COVID, or listening to crazy news. The medicine is getting into your own version of knitting or fly fishing instead of the news. You have a better life, more peace, and then you've got the wherewithal to become the peaceful alpha in your family or at work. Because it's not just about the dog. I mean, the dog is the lens to show you who you are, how you can grow. Because they reflect you back to you. That's so deep, John. That's so deep. But like, here's an example. Okay, so I am walking my dog Jimmy. We're walking down a trail, and there's a beautiful woman and her dog, and I'm approached. We're approaching. My dog's approaching, and I could tell that by just me approaching that. She didn't want my company. I don't know. Maybe whatever she was thinking. I don't know what she was thinking, but it felt like, don't hit on me, don't talk to me, leave me alone, give me some space. How could I feel that? I could feel that from her body language. She was closing off to me, and she said something, and it came off like she was trying to be polite, but it came off as sharp. That kind of a vibe. You ever get that from someone? When my dog got close to her dog like lunged at him and started barking. Dog copied her body language. Hey, get away, Sonny. Get away from us. See what I mean? Because the dog watches us with a mind that has no English in it, with a mind that is pure fly fishing 24/7, deep connection, deep focus. What are they focused on? Us, how we're feeling, what's going on right around us. Did the Amazon guy come yet? They have a lot higher consciousness than we give them credit for, because their language that they use on each other is a very high consciousness language. Their language uses actions, facial gestures, angles, postures, like the bouncer one, because they understand and they can feel the impact that those actions have. Those actions create feelings. When someone's making the bouncer posture, they're making it with the intention of intimidation. How does intimidation make its point? Somebody feels intimidated. What does feeling intimidated feel like? Feels scared.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. My man's dropping the heat, indeed. Yes, indeed. Dogs are a lens, y'all. That's right. That's right, indeed. And it's so darn true. It's like a stark difference from the cats, where it's like the cats don't care after a while. They persuade you and they get in the house. Like dogs, they want to be your friend for life. And if they sense you're worried or whatever, they actually care about you. They got the powerful empathy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cats are cool too, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. The cats are cool. They can wear their shades. It's all good. It's all good. They have the meows. Especially if the Super Troopers movie is involved with all the meows. So yeah, man, that's right indeed. That's right indeed. So since you've been on this wonderful podcast tour promoting your wonderful book and all the work that you're doing, like, is there a question that you wish you would receive more often?
Oh boy. No, I go into them just open-minded. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll think on that. I don't know off the top of my head. No.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Well, hey, here's a fun question for you. And you already mentioned hot dogs, so this is kind of tying in with it, but we'll see what you think about it. So, if your wonderful book, Enlightened Dog Training, was a food item, what would it be and why?
If it was a food item,
Yeah.
oh my god. Well, it'd be a big dose of psychedelics, Don. It'd be a medicine plant. This ain't no Big Mac, bro. This ain't no Big Mac. When you read it, it changes how you think, and it lures you in. It lures you in. It makes you curious. It's friendly. It's soft. But once you read it, you don't see your dog the same way again. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
It's like a big magic mushroom.
I guess it took long enough. If I ask that question long enough, I'll eventually get answers like these. Yeah, man. So this book is the magic mushrooms, baby. That's right. You will be on a wonderful trip with your wonderful canine, your wonderful pet, and you'll really embrace a new level of friendship with your dog by getting the enlightened dog training. That's right.
See, you're
That's
a
right,
food
indeed.
guy. I just needed to hit the right food, and then you get it.
Oh man. Yep. You're gonna be like, man, that dumb guy's crazy. Asked me the stupidest question ever.
John, you want to know an alpha move? It's an alpha move to do the unexpected. I don't know why I would say that, but why not, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. These are crazy times too, to be able to get a question like that and then that's the answer, and then we laugh about that for 5 minutes.
Hey, I'm all for it, especially since it was a peaceful alpha move.
That's right. That's right. Just giving teaching with an experience.
Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. My man's been dropping the hot fire indeed, hot fire indeed. So definitely want to be respectful of my man's time. So we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you're to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but you're in the current year of 2022 with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Don't fall for a crypto con when you're 38. Can you say that? Can you say that to yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, listeners are wondering. So, did they really have magic mushrooms before they pressed the record button?
Well, we'll have to let them figure that out. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It was a good laugh at the end there. It was good. Very, very good for the soul.
Well, my pleasure indeed. And hey, it's solid advice either way. Like, don't fall for some crypto traps. Like, it's so true. There's so much out there. All so many coins.
Thanks, Don, for having me.
Yes, sir, indeed. My pleasure, indeed. So, one more time for the folks who need to follow you and all the stuff you're doing, what's the best way for folks to do so, Jesse?
Guys, my name is Jesse Sternberg. If you found this entertaining or interesting, come be my friend on Facebook or check out my website, peacefulalpha.com.
Woo! Well, there you have it, folks. Reach out to the joyful Jesse, indeed, baby. That's right. Become a dog enlightenment guru, baby. That's right. You and your wonderful pup will both do the doggy yoga pose together in all of its unity and harmony, folks. That's right. You'll both be hot dogs together. That's right. You might even turn into mushrooms afterwards. So, any parting words before we close up shop, Jesse?
Practice your sit stay in the morning. Meditate in the morning. And have a peaceful day. That's the easiest recipe. Those are my parting words.
Thanks a bunch for sharing some of your time out of your day to listen to the Going North podcast. I would be really honored if you head over to the website goingnorthpodcast.com and share this episode with someone that you care about. And also, for bonus points, if you like, click on the shop tab on the website and grab some gear, advance others to advance yourself if you haven't already. Have a great rest of your day and keep advancing north to your greatness.